What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt Wyatt. So I just got done watching the first two episodes of Marvel's Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus. For those of you who don't know, I've been a big fan of the first three seasons of Daredevil. Charlie Cox's portrayal as Daredevil, Matt Murdock, was absolutely incredible. Well, Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk as the Kingpin was incredible. He's one of the best on-screen ruthless Marvel villains of all time. And it's my favorite Marvel's Netflix show ever. I loved how grounded and gritty and dirty it was, how they kept the characters more, have more gravitas and more relatable. And we were so connected with Matt Murdock's story and the fight choreography. You know that they did a phenomenal job with the fight choreography. They made a banger in every episode. There's always one episode, they always do a one-shot sequence every now and then. It's always been a traditional thing, and it made a big trend. I loved how they did it and how they made New York as a living character in that show. John Berthol's the Punisher, when he showed up in season two, the best part about that show, it was amazing. I love season three, even though it was a straight up continuation of Marvel's The Defenders, where they did this whole crossover event with Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. It was a good crossover event, but it was not the best. But you still have to watch it because it's part of the continuation of Daredevil. And when I found out that they canceled that show, I was completely pissed off. And I know that a lot of the fans were pissed off too, that they canceled it after three seasons and we could have gotten more, especially with Bullseye in season three, which he was a great character writing in that series. And then I never thought, as time went on, I never thought that we were going to see him return to the character again until he made a cameo appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. That caught me by surprise, and I cannot believe that they decided to, like, you know what? Fans love Charlie Cox's Daredevil. He's the definitive Daredevil. We're bringing him into the MCU, and now he's officially part of the MCU. Then Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin showed up in the Hawkeye series, even though I thought the show sucked, but he was a really good part of that show, and I had a gut feeling that they were just going to not canonize the Marvel's Netflix shows and let this be a soft reboot, which that's what they intended it to be. And by the time they were shooting the Daredevil Born Again as a brand new solo series on Disney Plus, Kevin Feige got his authority back when Bob Iger came back in at CEO at Disney, and they saw the rough cut of the episodes, and it was originally going to be 18. He decided that it was not working. We got to canonize the Marvel's Netflix show because that's what the fans want. They want to bring back Foggy and Karen that were in the first three seasons, that were the series regular. And we love their banter between Matt Murdock, Karen, and Foggy. Their friendship was so strong and powerful, and they're the strong anchor to Matt Murdock's character. And then we saw a lot of set photos and videos, and we saw the return of John Berthol's Punisher that's going to make an appearance in the show soon. Everybody was losing their minds, including myself, and I can't wait to see him show up again and have him and Matt Murdock work together again. Now, be warned, if you have not watched any of the previous Daredevil show for the first three seasons, and you have not watched Echo, that was a short story, and you have not watched the Hawkeye series that involves Wilson Fisk, his arc, because they do a lot of it, like they do not acknowledge it a lot in this first two episodes. It's part of the canon, and this is for the people who have followed their story throughout the MCU. And if you have not watched any of them, then you're going to get lost and confused, and you're not going to get that much of an impact when you watch the first two episodes. You're going to like, wait, who are these people? What's going on? What is he talking about? It's going to be confuse the hell out of you because this is made for the people who have followed with Daredevil and Wilson Fisk. And be warned, this video is going to be spoiler heavy. I'm not going to break down everything that happened in this episode. I'm just going to give you some of the spoiler plot points and my initial thoughts on it, and we'll go from there. And if you don't want to know anything, save this video on your playlist and then come back later after you're done catching up on the show. So for the first episode, the first 10 minutes, I kind of saw this point coming with the death of Foggy when he gets killed by Bullseye out of nowhere. It did caught a lot of people off guard, but for myself, I've heard a lot of speculations that his death is gonna really drive the story with Matt Murdock's character. And I saw, and by the time you see them together again, feel like a true continuation of from season three. Yeah, there's gonna be a death coming. They want to be bold. It was heavy, and it was sad to watch Foggy get killed off and seeing Matt Murdock being all devastated and very pissed at Bullseye for killing his best friend. And there's a one-shot sequences that they brought back, and it was awesome. My biggest gripe that scene is that there are some CGI sequences of him doing acrobatics, especially when he's hopping on the rooftop. As much as I love him swinging on the rooftop, doing this whole comic book style of Daredevil, it was awesome. But at the same time, you could tell that there's the CGI felt a little bit wonky and it felt very off-putting for me. And but it wasn't enough to pull me out of it. And look, I watched this on my MacBook Air. I didn't watch it on my 4K TV. Maybe if I watched it on my 4K TV, I might have a better experience of watching this episode, but the one-shot sequences was very cool and I really enjoyed it. But seeing the devastation of Matt Murdock, seeing his best friend dies right in front of him, and he's on the rooftop devastated, and now he's coming very close to crossing the line because he's all about not killing. He's all about giving everybody second chances, even for the people that don't deserve it, like Wilson Fisk himself, and he just tosses them off the fucking roof. And at the time, I forgot that, like, how is he still alive? How did he survive that fall? But then I thought about it when I looked back at the end of season three. We know that the doctors gave him some kind of a prosthetic metal in the back of his spine because his back got damaged by Wilson Fisk himself when they were having a tag team match in the end of season three. So that's why it made a lot more sense. But if you have not watched any of them, then yeah, you're gonna get lost and be like, how the hell is he still alive? Luckily, he's still alive, but and then we see this cop who was about to retire that caught him on the rooftop without his mask on, revealing himself as Daredevil. And you see the devastation in his eyes and how sad he is that he lost his best friend. And I want to bring up one thing. I love the opening of the episode, the opening title sequences. It's a little bit different from what we saw in the previous three seasons of Daredevil, but it still add a little bit of flavor in the same tone. And you see the stone shatter with Nelson and Murdoch and all that stuff, and all the things of his life was all a symbolism of everything in his world that is connected to him is all shattered. It's all shattered and broken. Now they cut back to the 1 year later, where now he's working at a different law firm. He has a new partner, and he gave up being the vigilante. Now we cut back to Wilson Fisk. Now he's running for mayor and for New York. He's coming back as a new man. He believes that he wants to clean up the city in a different way, and he wants to get rid of the criminal side of the life that he had. And it was great that they brought back Vanessa, the character in the show, that he's so obsessed with, that he's so in love with, and he will do everything he can to protect her and be with her. And it looks like that they've been separated for quite a while, and they're having a little bit of a midlife crisis between the two of them, especially when ever since he got shot in the face by Echo himself at the end of Hawkeye. He's been away, he's been soul searching, and he wants to be a different man. And he truly believes he wants to be a different man. Now he's definitely going to run for mayor for New York, and he wants to clean up the streets in a different way. And this first two episodes is really the more of focusing two sides of the coin. Matt Murdock wants to give up to be the vigilante because that would honor Foggy's death, because Foggy for years has been trying to get him to give up to be the vigilante because he wants to go by the system the right way and not the other way around, and not taking the law in their own hands and putting yourself on the life on the line. He doesn't want that for Matt Murdock. He's been begging him for giving up to being the vigilante, and that's what he did. He's trying to get through his processing through his grief. And that's what's the best thing about this episode. Yes, it took a little bit while to get us to the main plot of the story, but the best scene, which we can all agree, we're all in the sabbatical. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. The one in the diner when Matt Murdock meets up with Wilson Fisk, and they're talking about what they've been up to all this time, and that both of them have given up on the another life, and they wanted to do something different. But Matt Murdock deep down doesn't feel like he trusts Wilson Fisk's attention and his own agenda of why he wants to become a mayor, and he might switch it back to being the monster that Wilson Fisk really is. Even Wilson Fisk doesn't fully trust Matt Murdock that he will give up being a vigilante. His goal is to get rid of the vigilante and started the whole Vigilante Registration Act. This scene reminds me in the movie called Michael Mann's Heat, when you see Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in the diner together, is that, hey, no matter what, I'm going to do my own way and you're going to do yours. And as long as, and then with Matt Murdock said, I will step out of the way as long as you don't cross that line. And he did the same, and Will Fix did the same thing with Matt Murdock. As long as you don't play costume, then we're good. But if you do, then there will be consequences because I'm not going to have these bunch of people in their funny little costumes running around this whole city and taking the law in their own hands. Yeah, and we all know that this is not going to last very long. The ending of this scene, when Matt Murdock is on the ground and he finds out that Wilson Fisk has won the election, now he's the mayor of New York. We see both Wilson Fisk on the rooftop and Matt Murdock's point of view on the ground, doing this whole symbolism thing where the white light's reflecting on him, and you see Matt Murdock with the red reflecting out in him. It feels like their true nature is calling out to them, and that was a great symbolism and great way to end the episode. And yeah, this was a really good, strong premiere. I really enjoyed it. Then for episode two, we follow the White Tiger character who was once a vigilante, who's and I don't know much about White Tiger. He's another Marvel character that I've never heard of, but now he's caught up in a bad spot where he beats up a couple of goons who thought they were goons, killed one of them, but now it turns out that they were cops the whole time, and now he's being put on trial for for killing a cop. And Matt Murdock believes that he was telling the truth, that he didn't really one of the cops, and because they tripped and fell near the train. And that scene itself was very graphic. It was like, wow, this is still an R-rated show, and it reminds me that this is a more grounded, realistic show. This show feels to me more like an HBO series, kind of like the DC's The Penguin. This doesn't feel like the tone of the Netflix show. This feels the tone as an HBO show, and it felt more grounded, gritty, and full of drama. The things I liked, I love seeing the points of view of the citizens of New York, about the vigilante or about Wilson Fisk being a mayor, seeing the different points of view and different angles. I love that. They made New York as a living character, and the shots itself feels very cinematic. The score was very strong. I really enjoy that. And it's going to take a while for me to get used to this new banter that Matt Murdock has with the supporting characters that we never met before, especially with the cop who's now a PI, and we follow this a partner, an attorney at the law firm with Matt Murdock. I don't know. I'm not so fond about her. I don't really care much about her character that much. That was one of the things I did not like. And the therapist that we meet up, who is the new love interest of Matt Murdock, I don't know. This character named Heather, I don't really care about her that much right now. The love story between her and Matt Murdock kind of felt forced. It's going to take a lot of time for me to warm up to her in this episode. I love the scene where we go to the funeral with one of the cops who have died. We see the commissioner who's ready to resign because he hates Wilson Fisk. He does not like the fact that he is a mayor, and he calls him out on his bullshit, saying that you're not here for the greater good. You're just here because you were screaming out for attention. You want people to love you. But really, I already know who you truly are. And it did not like the way he was pushing his buttons. In this episode, we are slowly seeing that Matt and Wilson Fisk are starting to flip the script, and now they're starting to show their true nature, with Matt Murdock taking it into his own hands by investigating the what's really going on. And now that the White Tiger is now being put on trial and put into life sentence in prison, and he's about doing whatever it takes to try to clear his name. And I like that White Tiger's playing a little bit of part of the character, and he's now new introduction. He also has a magic amulet too, so that gives him an enhanced strength and reflexes. But I don't know much about the lore of the White Tiger from the comic books. I love the opening of the episode when we see Wilson Fisk making his own speech on television, acknowledging that he doesn't like the fact that there's a white tiger vigilante running around, or a skull on the guy's chest going on a shooting range, or a guy dressed up in a spider outfit. He acknowledged Spider-Man. Spider-Man is around. It's just to show you that the MCU characters, including Spider-Man with Tom Holland, exists in the MCU. So I love that they acknowledge it just a little bit, and I hope that we see Karen come back to the show. I really hope we do. I hope that she's not written to the side, because it seems to me that the writers of the show are trying to honor what came before of the Netflix show, but also start new, fresh, a new chapter in Matt Murdock's life. And I hope that once we get into the next episode, I hope we see Daredevil come back soon and not too late in the game, because this is a 9 episode season. So they got a lot they don't have that much time span to spare. And look, most people are going to be disappointed that Punisher does not show up in this second episode, but people got to remember that this is not a Daredevil and Punisher show. This is still a Daredevil show with Wilson Fisk playing the main character. And I love that they focus on two different points of view, especially when you saw that poster with the side by side. This is their story. And I believe that Punisher will probably be at least 2 or 3 episodes tops. And especially when we see the corrupt cops who are you see the tattoo of the Punisher skull on that guy's wrist. That is to show you that these are corrupt cops who are taking the law into their own hands and doing the dirty work and honoring Punisher. That's going to play a big part in the season with Punisher when he shows up later in the show. So I can't wait. I yeah, this episode was really good. I don't think it was as good as the premiere, but it started to really warm up and getting us into the main plot of the story. That there's a reason why that Disney Plus wanted to put out the first 2 episodes, and it's not new that Disney Plus does that every now and then when there's a premiere they do at least 2 or 3 episodes on the same day. But I'm glad that they were able to set up the tone, especially at the end of the episode when Matt Murdock unleashes his true nature as Daredevil, kicking the shit out of those 2 cops who are going after the witness who witnessed the one of the cops getting killed in this episode, who knows what really happened because the White Tiger did not kill them. The cop tripped and fell near the train, and now they're trying to pin it on him, and that's why Matt Murdock is trying to clear his name. So yeah, this episode was so gritty by the end, and you see Matt just screaming that I cannot believe that he just unleashed his true nature. Now he can't run from his true nature anymore. He's gonna have to don the mask and become Daredevil. There's a reason why the show is called Daredevil Born Again. Now, for those of you who haven't watched the episode, what did you think of this first 2 episodes? Did this episode live up to your expectations and you're excited to see what happens next in the rest of the season? Or were you someone out there that felt you were very mixed and it just did not deliver the episodes that you were hoping for? But just remember, it's only 2 episodes. We still got more to go. There might be more banger episodes coming along, and I hope that these first 2 episodes is not like a strong start, and then we have and it ends on a weak note. I hope this sticks to landing by the end. That's all I'm hoping for, especially now that they're in production of season 2, and this caught me by surprise. I just found out on social media that Discussing Film's Twitter page broke the news for the link of the YouTube content creator named Brandon Davis, who interviewed one of the writers and producers of the show, saying that they are going to bring back Karen and Foggy in season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. Now, my guess is there's only 3 ways that he could come back to the show. Now we know he's dead, but we live in a world where the MCU, there's always a fake out death, so now no one really truly dies on the show. There's either one, it might be part of Matt Murdock's hallucination, or 2, it could be more of flashback sequences, or 3, he can miraculously come back to the dead somehow or some way. I don't know if they're going to use something mystical to find a way to bring back his dead friend and bring him into season 2. But I wish they had not that this guy has not broke the news so soon. I wish they have not revealed it. I wish they would have waited until at the end of the season to catch us by surprise, because we just witnessed Foggy's death, and one of them, the writers of the show, decided to like, nope, he's coming back to season 2. We're bringing back Karen and Foggy back. So, like I said before, there's only 3 ways that they're going to bring him back to the show. Either one, it's going to be part of his hallucination, or 2, he's going to be part of the flashback sequences, or 3, they'll probably find some way to bring him back from the dead. There's going to be some mystical going around because this is the MCU. No character truly dies. I know it's could be very annoying and it could be very inconsequential, but who knows what happens? We're gonna have to find out until the end of the season of how he's gonna return to the show. And I love how they like explored of the more of the core drama that we loved about the first 3 seasons. Because when you watch the courtroom drama in She-Hulk, it felt so childish and too comedic and cheesy, and I did not like that. It felt so out of place and didn't fit the tone, because this show itself does not fit in the tone of the She-Hulk show, even though it's canon, but it does not feel like it belongs in that world. But whatever, it is what it is. So overall, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you know when my videos will be up. I also do small talk every Tuesday on a podcast. I do a Batman Commentary where I watch all the live action Batman movies with on 3D Movie Cinema's channel. We do it every other week of Friday, so keep an eye open for that. And I hope you guys have a great day, great evening, wherever you're from. I don't know if we're going to be able to cover every episode of this season of Daredevil. I might not. It all depends if in my of my mood. I might cover the series as a whole by the time the show ends, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for more of my content.